I think one thing that as humans we all have in common is that we all live with fear. Best thing to do on a hot day, lie around the pool, under the trees. They don't ever use their house at the top there. They can hear my voice. So I've got a whole lot of courgettes, or zucchini and cucumbers and other kinds of squash, but also some of these rotten melons, which I think the pigs might enjoy. Did you all wake up? Oh, those ones aren't leaving the wallow. Expectant. Oh my goodness. Let's throw it and then you can all go after broken bits. Some ran off and hide with what they loot. They even left their wallow for this melon. Yeah, but it's all finished now. All gone. I think if anybody says that they don't fear something in their lives, I think they might not be being honest with themselves, because everybody has fears. Some people, their fears are just hidden. Other people have just learnt to live with fear. Good morning. Have you come to say good morning? Yes? And you ready for your little morning treat? Hey? I love how you talk to me. Yes. Really? Is that what happened? And what else did they do to you? Yes. I have many, many fears. I'm definitely not a brave person. So as a child, I was terrified of the dark. And the way I overcame that fear was to deliberately go outside at night in the dark. And that was how I overcame my fear of the dark. One of the things you have to do here in Portugal is you've got to keep an eye on your sow's vulvas, because sometimes if they are a bit loose at the back, flies can lay their eggs and you can have maggots there. So you've got to sort of monitor them and use blue spray if need be. So I've just been checking vulvas today. I think Jelly Bean, I can probably put some blue spray on her. It doesn't look like flies have laid eggs or maggots, but she does look a bit open at the back, so I don't want to create opportunity for flies. And these ones are supposed to be out grazing, but they're following me everywhere. What is this? All around me. You're supposed to be out grazing. Now you're also checking pigs' vulvas. Yes, Freckles. What have you caught? Have you caught a bird? And are you tearing it apart in my kitchen? Oh my goodness. There are some days where you plan to do a lot of work. And then you end up binge watching Pressure Cooker on Netflix. So one of the seeds must have slipped down here. And so out of the raised garden bed, I've got a plant growing. But look at this beautiful flower. Another big fear I have is the fear of heights. And I remember, we were, my youngest daughter and I, she was 15 at the time, we'd gone to go and look at the Victoria Falls from the Zambian side that time, and we walked across this little bridge. I don't know if it was like a rope bridge. I just know that it didn't feel very stable. It was quite a narrow, only one person, could, it was the width of one person, shall we say. And then there was this sheer drop to the Zambezi River Gorge below. And we went across to the other side, no problem. I just didn't look down. I just looked straight because I knew I couldn't handle the heights. But on the way coming back, my young daughter thought it was hilarious to jump up and down on this little bridge so that the whole thing started swinging. I then, of course, went into a panic and I just froze, and I couldn't go forward and I couldn't go back, and I was so I've never been as terrified. That was one of the most terrifying experiences of my life. And eventually there was a long queue of people behind my daughter, and she said, "Mom, you've got to go." And it's like I couldn't even talk, I couldn't move. And she realized then that it wasn't a joke what she had done. And somehow or other, I had to dig really deep and get across that gorge on that swinging bridge. How I did it, I don't know. But this is sometimes what we have to do when we have fears, is we've got to sort of almost like immerse ourselves in that to be able to conquer it. Stand here and look from this angle, it does seem like there's a little bit of a curve to this wall. So I'm wanting to work on this section over here that I was originally going to be leaving open, but I do want to close it up. But I'm going to have to look for some rocks to try and put next to this wood. So I don't know if I'll find some, but I'm going to go and see what I can find. I've managed to find a few rocks that I can put in here. I'm going to stop working outside now because it's getting quite warm and the wasps are out or where I want to be. So I'll find some more. I think these are the right sort of size to go up this area here, maybe fill in some of these gaps to do it right up to the post. So I'm just busy making a mixture for the cordwood. Well, not the cordwood, the bottle bricks. I use the same cordwood mixture, which is 3 sand, 2 sawdust, 1 lime, and 1 cement. And I went over there to go and open up the bag to get the sawdust, because I actually used it a couple of weeks ago and it was fine, but it appears wasps have moved in, and I've just been stung on my thigh, on my left thigh, and on my right knee, which is very painful. So this is obviously where they have a very big nest over here. I might just make this batch without the sawdust, because I can't get in there. I don't know. Oh, my knee is paining. Oh my goodness. Luckily, I've now bought some antihistamine, and I got antihistamine cream. So after I have a shower tonight, I'll put on the cream. But it got me good on my knee, I tell you. The thigh is sore, but the knee, oh man. I do have some insect spray, so when it's dark tonight, I might go and spray it with insect spray. I'm just standing here. There's a lot going in and out. I think this is all the ones that are sort of hanging around the house area, the outside of the house. I think this is the big nest over here. See, there's a lot here on this table around the cat food as well. So it's the same lot. They've got their nest in the sawdust, and they're flying in and out the whole time. And now I need to get to the cement over there, but they are dive bombing all around here. So I've just done one mix with this little section, and I've done it slightly differently because you really need the that sawdust is what makes it malleable, that you can then pack in the holes and whatever, and without the sawdust you can't do it. So I'm going to have to go back and fill up these gaps that are here. But I have noticed seems to be some kind of a nest down there that I'll probably give a good spray later on. So last night when it was dark, I went out and I sprayed all around where that wasp nest was. I've just gone out this morning to see whether I can get some sawdust, and the good news is that I've managed to get some sawdust. There are some dead wasps lying around there, but I don't know, they seem to have vanished this morning. I don't know if they will be back. I'm very, very careful going there. So I'm going to be mixing up this mixture now that I've got sawdust in it. I'm going to add in the water. So I first give it a bit of a mix. Oh, lovely. There's a wasp flying around here already. So the interesting fact, while I was looking up wasps, apparently they can remember your face for up to 1 week. And the same wasp will repeatedly sting you every time you go back to that spot. So that explains why when I've opened the gate next to the shed, that I've been stung 3 times, 3 different days on my left arm. And I kept thinking, geez, I'm sure this is the same wasp. It just comes flying in from nowhere, dive bombs me, stings me, and then flies off again. Now I know it can be the same wasp. So the mixture with the sawdust in is much easier to work with. So I'm just going to wet yesterday's cement a little bit first before I start packing the new lot of stuff on. Right, so this has now been wet. So you want to wet it before you apply the new mortar so that it sticks. So I used to have a fear of public speaking, and I became a teacher and I give workshops, and now, you know, I can speak in front of 100 people and it doesn't faze me. But I can remember when I first started, I always used to be so nervous. If I was holding a piece of paper, it would be shaking like this. So you just have to throw yourself into it to overcome it. So the first thing I've got to do, or which I have now done, is just using this mixture and just working by hand just to sort of fill in those holes that were there. Now I can start laying more bottles on, but it's important to have these holes filled in and to make it as smooth as possible. And you need the sawdust to be able to work with it, that's for sure. took out last night. There's no activity there now. Seriously, Red Velvet, I can't get anything done with you in there because you're taking up so much space with your Oompa Loompa body now. And then you got all your friends that are coming. Yes. There are some things that you would expect me to fear that I don't fear. Like, I don't fear failure and I don't fear danger. I sort of get a thrill out of danger for some strange reason. But I do fear conflict. I do fear disappointing other people. I do fear being shouted at in an angry voice. I don't do well with that. But the big thing that I fear on this farm is wasps and bees, but in particular wasps. Height of frustration when you're busy baking something in the oven and you realize you run out of gas. So I need to go and get more gas. I used to fear gas and always try to get someone to do it for me. Oh, nearly burst a valve lifting it up, but with a wheelbarrow I can push it down to the house now. This is definitely, I want one of these. Yeah, I've got the crusher ready, so I don't need, I think, that end bit. But this walkway area and that, I definitely need. I need that and probably another one of these. I don't fear spiders. I don't fear snakes. I don't fear scorpions. But I do fear wasps. And when I saw that wasp nest in the bag of sawdust, I thought, I'm not going to be able to finish the building because I can't get the sawdust. I need the sawdust. And you know what? I just took that fear, I put it in my pocket, and I went out at night and I sprayed that whole bag that this morning there weren't any wasps left in that nest. And so when you have a fear, sometimes you just have to go out, embrace that fear, put it in your pocket, conquer it. The cats appear to be intrigued with the neighbor's goats. And you're going to be a good girl, eh? A good girl with no barking at those goats all night long. Yes. Made some peach slices today. A little bit of baking always soothes the soul. So what is your greatest fear? Is it fear of being alone? Is it fear of rejection? Is it fear of failure? Is it fear of getting old? Is it fear of dying? What is your greatest fear? And how are you going to challenge yourself to overcome that fear? Because you don't want to keep living your life in fear. You've got to try and overcome that. I mean, I know it's easier said than done, but as a person who has so many fears, you have to find ways to overcome them. Otherwise, you just aren't going to be living a full life. Anyway, on that deep note, that's all for today. So in the meantime, stay sane, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next video.